One, how is the Gorosei not putting the D in Monkey D. Luffy's bounty going to help anything? I mean, they already disseminated how many posters with D in his name, right? Nobody calls him Monkey Luffy. Like, it even sounds weird. Try it. Monkey Luffy. Monkey Luffy. That sounds weird. Nobody in real life, nobody in the world of One Piece, it just, nobody calls him that. So if your goal is to hide the fact that he's a D, Gorosei, I gotta say, you're slipping. You're playing negative 2D chess over here. 2. Where did Big News Morgans get the picture of Luffy? Is there a spy in CP0? Maybe, possibly, maybe. Rob Lucci, are you a spy? I'd read that. 3. I guess it makes sense now why Oda considers Kid to be Luffy's rival. They have the exact same bounty now, even though I wouldn't say that's very much deserved on Kid's part. But, I mean, it is what it is. Like, a law being there, I guess, makes some sense because law wasn't really meant to be in the picture, but I think it was always meant for Kid to have the same bounty as Luffy at this point. Now, I'm just curious what part he plays in the story. He's probably going to be more of a thorn in Luffy's side more than anything. Maybe like an also-ran. So, whatever. Maybe like a more relevant version of Big Mom. Yeah, I said Big Mom isn't relevant. I think it's pretty clear that Yamato is in the crew now. I mean, you can see this parallel between her, Luffy, and Chopper here with their love of food, right? She's basically part of the crew. I mean, it just hasn't been said yet. Now, there is a possibility that the events that are going to unfold in the next couple of chapters could cause Luffy to order her to stay behind, even though that may or may not be likely. I don't know. I don't really want it to happen because I think they do need Yamato in the crew or somebody else in the crew. Like, the crew needs to be complete, right? And I think Yamato's a good fit, at least in my personal opinion. I think Brook and Hiyori might need to go on tour together because apparently they're very popular with the people in terms of their music. That would be funny. Actually, I would read that spinoff. Oda, get on that. I'm glad to see Robin's humor come back in full force here. Her blunt and dark sense of humor, even though it was more blunt than dark in this instance. But her saying that the Kogeshi dolls weren't cute, I thought that was hilarious. That was funny. More proof that Robin is best girl. If you don't agree, then it doesn't matter because she's best girl. It's like fighting against gravity. Sorry. Tinguyama being Kozuki Sukiyaki is kind of obvious, but I'm happy that it was sort of addressed at this point because I mean, what's the point of hiding it any further? I'm glad I'm glad that it's an indication that Oda's not going to just rope-a-dope people just for the sake of rope-a-doping them. That he's going to stick to a plot point, even if it's kind of obvious and everybody's kind of already guessed it. That's good because I've noticed most stories suffer when the author tries to subvert expectations all the time. How Pluton factors in the story at this point, I'm not really sure of, but if I have to guess, and this is going to sound crazy, but it might make some sense in the future, I think Kid's going to actually get it. I think Eustace Kid is going to get Pluton. Why? Well, because right now there's no way he's on even footing with Luffy. He's no way, it's not on even footing with anybody in that level. And in order to sort of get that edge, he probably should take Pluton. This is my belief. Like, it would make sense for him. Otherwise, what's the point of him being there? Oh, he's a rival. Everybody knows Blackbeard is more of a rival to Luffy than anybody at this point. But, if Oda's serious about making Kid a rival, he's gonna have to stop making him a joke and giving him an ultimate weapon or I forgot what they call the weapons. Wait 1 second. Ancient weapon. Why did I say ultimate weapon? I was thinking Final Fantasy. Giving him an ancient weapon will sort of even that playing field, I think. At least make him be taken a little bit more seriously. Because, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to talk about that particular plot point just yet. But I'll get down there. Ryokugyu. Am I saying that right? Ryokugyu. That's hard to say. Well, I expect him to be a bit of a rebel, and he kind of is. What I didn't expect was for him to be a validation-seeking lapdog. That's kind of surprising to me. I guess he's going to be Oda's example of seeking justice for the wrong reasons. I'm going to be just for the sake of praise rather than it being the right thing to do. Luffy's desire not to be considered a hero is a pretty good explanation of why Kaido's beatdown was subdued, but I would say that's a bit out of character. Why? Well, or at least an example of Luffy growing in character. Why? Well, because Luffy never cared one way or another what people thought of him. I mean, he never actively went out of his way to not be considered a hero, and this, I think, is the first time he really did that. I might be missing some things, I might forgot some things, but I don't remember him actively trying to hide the fact that he helped a bunch of people. And it's not because he wants to be a hero, that's something that never really factors in his mind. Credit. He always does things on like a sort of animalistic, Curly from the Three Stooges sort of way. That's a very old reference. Luffy being able to hold Kid down, I think, is another, subtle signifier that Luffy is out of Kid's league. Kid's nowhere near Luffy's level, and I think that's going to factor into Kid's character. He's going to say, wow, I'm nowhere near as strong as this guy. I'm going to have to even the playing field. That's why I think that he is going to get Pluton, which I already mentioned before. And also, there's another thing. Luffy's ability to sort of, wrap his arms, coil his arms around Kid's neck in such a way is just an indication that he doesn't have to be in Gear 5 proper to do weird and interesting things with his abilities. He's an awakened Devil Fruit user, so he probably has access to a lot of those crazy things even outside of that form. My question is, what does transforming do for Luffy? Does it make it even more prominent? I don't know. So that's going to be interesting to see in the future. I like the shading in the fireworks panel. The fireworks remind me of Kaido falling in the pit for some reason. I think it's just like similar visuals. I don't know. Black and white does tricky things. Maybe it's an illusion, but I don't see why it'd be an illusion. It's kind of silly. Maybe it's meant to look like a sun. I don't know. I actually have to look at it again. Once again, Kid, stand down. You can't kill Luffy. You're not even, you can't even lace his bootstraps. You physically, you don't have the physical ability to just stand down, son, and learn from the masters, young Padawan. I hate to use a Star Wars reference, but, whatever. So, the Yonko are Shanks, Blackbeard, Luffy, and, surprise, surprise, Buggy. Honestly, I'm not really surprised about this. Even though I didn't really think about it, the possibility that Buggy would be made captain, but as it's revealed to me, I'm not super shocked about it. My first immediate reaction was like, why did they do this? But now I think about it, Buggy makes sense as a Yonko. I know this sounds crazy, but he does. The only thing he's missing is power, but no one's ever said physical power has to be a requirement to be a Yonko. All you need is territory and influence, and Buggy has that in spades. I mean, even though he got that accidentally, I don't know, maybe it's some weird ability of his, I don't know, but the dude has it. So he has a far bigger institution around him more than Kid or Law. So it makes sense that he would be a Yonko over Kid or Law. And I know he's been following up, ever since he became Shichibukai, and before then, ever since he broke out of Impel Down with Luffy, or should I say Luffy broke him out of Impel Down, Buggy has been falling up the ladder so hard it's not even funny. He's almost like Usopp in a way. That's a weird parallel, but yeah. But my question though is, what the heck happened outside of Wano for Buggy to be considered a Yonko, right? It can't just be him, falling up a ladder. It has to be some event that happened that facilitated this. My guess is he magically escaped capture by the world government, maybe. Something happened, I don't know. But it's not just him falling up the ladder. There's something that we don't know about going on outside of Wano is the answer to all of this. And I'm interested and excited to find that out. So, out of the frying pan and into the fire. So, remember when Oda's editor, I can't remember the man's name, said that the real bad guy of Wano, or he implied that the real bad guy of Wano was somebody other than Kaido? Well, I think we know what he meant. Green Bull is the one, I think. Now, my question is, are we going to see the conflict play out in the next chapter in 1054? Or are we going to get the hangover treatment and just see the results of the chaos and the mess? Honestly, I hope there's a slight skip in time. I hope there's a slight time skip. That'd be kind of cool. Like, we just see, things happen. Right? But will that happen? I'm not so sure. But this party had a sort of ominous feel to it. I don't know why. I guess because I think the other parties that we saw at the end of arcs were a little bit more 100% joyful, whereas this one has the whole sort of animosity, between Kid and Luffy. Even though Luffy doesn't really care, he's kind of oblivious to the whole thing. And we have Green Bull in the he's in the cut, waiting to cause some problems. So I'm curious where things go. I'm excited, and who knows? Who knows? I'm not writing this story. Oda could just flip everything on his head like he usually does. So that's it. Those are my 15 points of interest about 1053. Hope you enjoyed it. You probably didn't, but if you did, you know where the like button is. I talk about manga on here. I have this thing called the big list of manga, and I'm just like trying to list as much manga as possible. I know it's probably an impossible and daunting task, but I'm doing the work of Osamu Tezuka at the moment. So if you're interested in that, you might want to consider subscribing. So there's that. So long.